The story of D.B. Cooper is one of the most captivating unsolved mysteries in modern American history. On November 24, 1971, a man using the alias Dan Cooper boarded a Northwest Orient Airlines flight, hijacked the plane, demanded a ransom, and then vanished into the night sky by parachuting out of the aircraft with $200,000 in cash. What makes this case so remarkable is not just the audacity of the crime, but the fact that, to this day, we still don't know who D.B. Cooper was, where he went, or if he even survived the jump. In this episode, we'll dive into the details of this daring heist, the investigation that followed, and the countless theories surrounding the man who vanished without a trace. This is the story of D.B. Cooper. It was the day before Thanksgiving, November 24th, 1971. A man in his mid-40s, dressed in a dark suit, white shirt, black tie, and carrying a black briefcase, boarded Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 in Portland, Oregon. He purchased a one-way ticket under the name Dan Cooper. The flight was a short 30-minute trip to Seattle, carrying 36 passengers and 6 crew members. Cooper took a seat in the rear of the plane, ordered a bourbon and soda, and waited. Shortly after takeoff, he handed a note to flight attendant Florence Schaffner. Initially, she thought it was a phone number and tucked it into her pocket without reading it. Cooper leaned toward her and said softly, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." The note, written in neat capital letters, stated that he had a bomb in his briefcase. Cooper opened the case briefly to reveal a glimpse of wires, red cylinders, and a battery pack. He calmly dictated his demands: $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck standing by in Seattle to refuel the plane. The crew alerted the cockpit, and the pilots relayed the message to air traffic control. The FBI was immediately involved, working to secure Cooper's demands. Meanwhile, Cooper instructed the flight attendants to reassure the passengers that there was a mechanical issue and to keep everyone calm. Remarkably, most of the passengers were unaware they were in the middle of a hijacking. The plane landed at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport around 5:39 p.m. By then, the FBI had gathered the ransom money, $200,000 in unmarked $20 bills, each with serial numbers recorded, and 4 parachutes. Cooper allowed the passengers and 2 flight attendants to leave the plane in exchange for the ransom and parachutes. However, he retained several crew members, including the pilot, co-pilot, and 1 flight attendant, to assist with his getaway. Once the plane was refueled, Cooper gave specific instructions to the pilots: fly southeast toward Mexico City at an altitude of 10,000 feet, with the landing gear down, flaps set to 15 degrees, and the cabin unpressurized. He also requested that the plane maintain a speed of no more than 200 miles per hour, an unusual and precise set of demands, indicating he had a solid understanding of aviation. The plane took off with Cooper and the crew aboard, escorted by 2 fighter jets trailing at a safe distance. At approximately 8 p.m., somewhere over the dense forests of southwestern Washington, Cooper opened the aft staircase and jumped into the freezing, rainy night, carrying the cash and 2 parachutes. When the plane landed safely in Reno, Nevada, hours later, Cooper was gone. Authorities found the aft staircase open and 2 of the parachutes left behind, but there was no sign of Cooper or the money. The FBI launched one of the most extensive manhunts in history, combing through the rugged terrain of Washington and Oregon, where Cooper was believed to have landed. However, the dense forests, coupled with the inclement weather on the night of the jump, made the search nearly impossible. The $200,000 ransom was another focal point of the investigation. Each bill's serial number had been recorded, and the FBI distributed the list to banks, casinos, and businesses, hoping to trace any of the money if it was spent. Despite these efforts, Cooper's trail went cold almost immediately. The FBI interviewed the crew and passengers, searched the plane for fingerprints, and analyzed the ransom note, but little usable evidence was found. For years, Cooper's disappearance baffled investigators. Did he survive the jump? If so, where did he go? And why has none of the money surfaced in circulation? The mystery only deepened with time. Over the decades, a few key clues have surfaced, but none have provided definitive answers. In 1980, an 8-year-old boy named Brian Ingram discovered $5,800 in decayed $20 bills along the banks of the Columbia River near Vancouver, Washington. The bills were confirmed to be part of the ransom money, but their location only raised more questions. How did the money end up there? And why hadn't more of the ransom been found? The FBI also examined the tie Cooper left behind on the plane. In recent years, advanced forensic techniques revealed microscopic particles on the tie, including titanium, which was rare in the 1970s. Some speculated that Cooper might have worked in a job involving aerospace or chemicals. Despite these discoveries, the larger mystery remained unsolved. Cooper's parachutes, body, and the bulk of the ransom money have never been recovered. The D.B. Cooper case has inspired countless theories about his identity and fate. Some believe he was an experienced parachutist who survived the jump and disappeared. Others argue he likely died in the attempt, given the harsh conditions and the difficulty of parachuting at night into dense wilderness. Several suspects have gained attention over the years. Richard Floyd McCoy, a Vietnam veteran and skilled skydiver who carried out a similar hijacking months later. However, McCoy was ruled out because he didn't match Cooper's description. Kenneth Christensen, a former paratrooper and Northwest Airlines employee. Some believe his aviation knowledge and physical resemblance to Cooper make him a strong candidate. Robert Rackstraw, a Vietnam veteran with a criminal record and a history of deception. While many have pointed to him as Cooper, there's no concrete evidence to prove his involvement. Others believe Cooper may have been a rogue operative, a disgruntled airline employee, or even a regular person with nothing to lose. Despite hundreds of leads, no suspect has ever been definitively linked to the crime. The story of D.B. Cooper has become a cultural phenomenon, inspiring books, movies, and endless speculation. His case is the only unsolved hijacking in U.S. history, making him a folk hero to some and a puzzle to others. The FBI officially closed the case in 2016, citing a lack of new evidence. However, amateur sleuths and Cooper enthusiasts continue to investigate, poring over old files and following new leads. For many, the appeal of the D.B. Cooper case lies in its mystery. He represents the ultimate escape artist, a man who pulled off an audacious crime and disappeared without a trace. Whether he survived or perished, his story has left an indelible mark on American history. D.B. Cooper's daring heist and disappearance continue to captivate the public more than 50 years later. Was he a skilled criminal who got away with the perfect crime? Or a desperate man whose leap into the unknown ended in tragedy? One thing is certain, the mystery of D.B. Cooper endures, leaving us with more questions than answers. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of America's most fascinating unsolved mysteries. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest enigmas.